This is a video for the BHI women, or just anyone who is a Torah observant and says that they can, and God tells them that they are allowed to do the feasts, and they would use this excuse that, oh, it will be a blessing unto you if you do that. So like in Deuteronomy 12 and 16, you see that you cannot keep those feasts when you are outside of the land. It is just very clear, which I will read again. Matter of fact, I'm going to get it now. So then again in 12, it says that in the land they will have to first tear down those high places, those graven images, is everything that is against God. And then it says, ye shall not do so unto Jehovah your God. But unto the place which Jehovah your God shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there, even unto his habitation shall ye seek, and thither thou shalt come. And thither ye shall bring your burnt offerings and your sacrifices and your tithes and heave offerings of your hand and your vows and you free will offerings and the firstlings of your herd and your flocks. And then further at 9, it says that 8 actually even better, ye shall not do after all the things that ye do here this day, every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. See, you BHI movement, you are doing what is right in your own eyes, because you think that by celebrating those feasts and even encouraging some of the Christians who come out of the church, who come out of that apostate satanic building, come into the Torah movement and literally let them sin again. You teach them to profane Yah's feasts. Literally just because you have this covetousness of wanting blessings. Y'all gotta be really kidding me, man. For ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance. The inheritance is New Jerusalem. It's literally when the new kingdom is come. That is the rest. There is no rest in Israel right now. There is no rest. Even now, there is no rest. You are not supposed to do the feast outside of the land. So then, verse 10, but ye go over Jordan and dwell in the land which Jehovah your God give you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest from all your enemies round about, so that ye dwell in safety. When you dwell in safety, then you can do the feasts. They're a blessing, yes, but you do that like when you are in safety, when New Jerusalem is come. The feast on itself is just a blessing. But you cannot, literally, I don't understand why you guys are so doing your best to really profane his feast, even his Sabbath. Like, you're just mixing things, and you know that you're not supposed to do so. So let's go to the text that the brother used in John 4, I think. So verse 21, Yeshua said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship, ye know not what we worship, what we worship, what we know, what we worship. Sorry for butchering that. For salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So that worship in spirit and in truth, when you go back and you read Deuteronomy 12, and what it says is truth to you who are outside of the land, then you must do so. Take yourself then to the Holy Land, figure out the calendar which you cannot figure out, because Jehovah will first have to restore the pure language, as Zephaniah 3:9 says. And that is after his wrath has completely destroyed this place. Then he will restore his pure language, and then you'll be able to understand the calendar and what the real time reckoning also, well, actually not time reckoning, but what I mean is that then you will understand when the real feast days really will start, and when they will end. And like even Paul himself, he said himself, I must by all means go to Jerusalem for this feast. So let's go there. So then it says, Acts 18, verse 21, but bade them farewell, saying, I must by all means keep the feast that cometh in Jerusalem, but I will return again unto you, if God will. And he sailed from Ephesus. He says by this, he must by all means keep this feast. But that does not make you, because then that does not say that, it will not say, like, if he still lived and there was another feast coming, that does not say that he will not say the same thing, oh, I must by all means go and keep this feast. Like, why? Like, this shows actually your heart of how covetous it actually is, by saying, oh, my brothers and sisters are robbing the people from keeping the feast so that they will not get this blessing. This is how it shows how covetous you actually are. You just want to do this feast so that you may get your blessing. Like that, you BHI movement, again, you have been called, you have been awakened to literally fulfill Mark 13, Ezekiel 2, 3, and 33, to lament, mourn, and woe. And that is to go into the churches, to warn the Christians, to get back into the covenants of promise, the 10 commandments, eating clean and fulfilling the royal law, which is loving your neighbor as yourself, James 2, 8-9, Leviticus 19, 15-18. And eating clean, Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14, Genesis 6-9. You know, and literally to keep the 10 commandments, Deuteronomy 5, what was desired at Mount Horeb, which Yeshua, our Messiah, came to proclaim as Moses prophesied that it would happen through the Spirit of God, Deuteronomy 18, 15-20, which then Acts 3 is quoting from verse 22-26. I cannot believe that you are making stumbling blocks for those who really want to worship Yah in spirit and in truth, and telling them to literally profane his Sabbath evening to evening. Doesn't even make sense. Exodus 16, it tells us so very clearly that it is from dawn to dawn. You gotta stop, women. You gotta stop. Literally. Just try to see, according to what the scripture's really saying, how Yah wants you all to really just open people's eyes, not by like throwing them to the letter of the law. Let's go to Ezekiel 22. I recommend that you just read the whole chapter 22. So I'm just going to read verse 26. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned mine holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and the profane, neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbath, and I am profaned among them. You are the temple, BHI movement, and you are profaning Yah's feasts. You are profaning, as he says, him. You are supposed to do your job, women. You are supposed to be in Ezekiel 2, 3, and 33. Women, a watchman, warning the churches. So do your job. So, the last verse that I want to read to you, Amos 5. Now start from 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Jehovah. To what end is it for you? The day of Jehovah is darkness and not light. So some of you BHI movement do desire this day. And believe me, it will be very horrible because some of you will be in it because of what you are actually doing. It will be a terrible and dark day for you. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house that leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of Jehovah be darkness and not light? Even every dark, and no brightness in it. Now verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beast. Okay? Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not bear the melody of the viols. See, some of you BHI movement also make now songs for Yah. It's not a bad thing, but if you're not keeping the 10 commandments with the Sabbath according to his will, ladies, dawn to dawn, as it is, and if you do not go and be that watch woman to the churches, to the lost sheep of Israel who are in the apostate Christian churches, then it's all in vain. What you're doing, it's all in vain. But it's to boast your own self, and it's to covet, as I said, you covet blessings, which you are not supposed to even covet and want especially at this time, especially as the second Exodus would probably happen in springtime, and it's just hideous. It's just horrible. So you just need to get back to work, like I said. Repent from your covetousness and stop just going by the letter of the law and casting stumbling blocks for those who just come out of that church. I want to serve Yah. I want to follow Yah as literally the word says that they should. You should just stop and actually really follow what Yah has called you all to do. Honestly.